Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we are talking about the Nashville Predators, the team that is having one of the most horribly, horrific, terrifyingly terrible seasons I've ever seen, with a team that had such, maybe not super high expectations, but had expectations up here, and it's not even that they're down here. They were shot, and they're not even on the graph anymore. This team is so bad. They're such a, not even a laughing stock. It's just sad to see. So this team that had all the hype behind them with the big signings, like amazing, not so amazing, but good season last year, to build on top of it, they added like the biggest free agents possible this free agency. This team is right in line to just shoot straight to the moon. And guess what? I mean, you already know the whole point of the video. You've clicked on it. I'm sure if you found this video somehow, you're deep enough into hockey YouTube to know what's already happening. So you already know the answer. But this team has just done the complete opposite of those expectations. And they are 31st in the NHL with 22 points. It is sad to see. But anyways, before we get any further into this video, you should subscribe. Because why shouldn't you? It'll make me happy, and it's the season of giving. Anyways, subscribe. But let's move on with the actual video. So the Nashville Predators, they are 8-16-6 with 22 points, 31st in the NHL. And this is a team, it's so weird to see this logo that for most, like, I've been like truly into hockey since around, like, I'd say 2012. And, I mean, I was a child, so that's really when I could only really be into it. But I was dedicated to hockey since then, right? And the Predators, for most of my life, have been at least a solid, like, number 16 up to, like, number 1 team, right? When them winning the President's Trophy, going to Stanley Cup Finals, right? They've always been a playoff team. And recent years, of course, things are slowing down. Like, that success over a while eventually runs out. But they've been able to keep things steady. And with Barry Trotz coming in, things seem to be like, yeah, this is going to be a good year. He comes in, he makes a couple of interesting moves, but overall with Nyquist and stuff, and he's cleaning up the house, apparently things work out well last season. They make it into the playoffs after a steady season, and it's not too surprising, but they make it into the playoffs after a good year. They lose in the first round. Not too surprising about that, but they have a good basis, right? They have a good team, and they go all in with the signings this year. With Stamkos, Marchessault, and Brady Shea, and none of them have worked out, right? It looked like a team that has a okay defense with a good goaltender, was going to have a fine offense in front of them that played some good games with a great coach. And they're going to add those offensive weapons to the back end, to the whole team, and it's just completely fell flat. And it's from the signings of them, which already seemed like a bad idea from the beginning. You get the waived players of Tolvanen and Fabro, who have gone on to be amazing with their new teams. Tolvanen being a speedy, good shot, like true like sniper goal scorer for the Seattle Kraken. Fabro, who's already an immediately plus 14, which like is amazing. A plus 14 immediately with the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are on a hot streak, but still, like, that is pretty good. And so you move out those young, fast players that you can build for the future. You sign the young, aging, at the end of their career players to the big buck contracts. You trade away Philip Tomasino, another young gun, Ekholm, who has become one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL and arguably could be part of the best pairing. I don't think it is, but a lot of people agree. But he's a really good defenseman regardless. All these trades and moves and waves and all these things come together to create a team that is just completely flat. They have no strengths in defense. They have no true strengths in offense, and it's especially since their best players of Forsberg and Nyquist and Ryan O'Reilly, before the signed guys, are playing horrible. Forsberg probably being the best player this team has ever had. I mean, I guess Shea and Yossi, I guess Shea Weber. Best forward, I would argue. Philip Forsberg being on this team has come completely flat this season. Ryan O'Reilly, same thing. Nyquist, the Swedish meatball line, best line they had last year, completely gone silent. So they've gone silent. The rest of the team has gone silent. You keep moving out young players. players. You're removing the speed of the game, which is shown time and time again with teams like Carolina and the Lightning and Dallas, and I'm looking at all the teams over there, Florida. That speed and physicality and good defense is the way you win games nowadays, right? And especially when it comes to offense, this key is speed. And you've gone with moving out Tolvanen and Fabro and Tomasino. I know one of them was a defenseman. But you just move in these aging, old players to get those points, right? Stamkos, right? On paper, seemed amazing, but he was getting a ton of help from Kucherov. He's clearly slowed down in his play, but he was a power play merchant on a super-powered offensive team in Tampa Bay. He moves to here where he doesn't have that anymore, and clearly it's showing that he is not that guy on his own. Marchessault, he had 42 goals last year, right? 42 goals and whatever assists. I read an interesting article the other day with empty net points. If you remove his empty net points, Marchessault becomes I believe, 30 goal scorer, 32, something like that. Like a 32 goal scorer and 60 points. Is that so amazing to look at than a 42 goal scorer and I think 80 points? I know I'm seeing like a complete idiot because I am at this point. But still, you remove those empty net points, those easy points that you get, it's not so attractive, right? And especially in his best season, things gonna get a little chiseled off there, right? Brady Shea, though, was the one that I'm most surprised by. Shea was awesome in Carolina, kind of all around on the ice, especially in the playoffs. See him doing this bad and just kind of a non-factor, I would say, with Nashville is the most surprising of them all. But I mean, it is what it is. So all adds up to a team that is minus 25, which is third worst in the NHL. A team with zero offensive lethality with I think the worst shooting percentage. You have a team with no true defensive core that's playing good defense, shutting down guys, right? They didn't go out there and they get Alec Martinez and Jake Middleton, right? Where they went out and got these really good shutdown defenders. They didn't get that. They went with all offense to a team that is already slowly declining, and those players they signed declining in offense. It's just They just chose everything wrong, and it comes down to Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz is who's really made this team go to complete disaster at this point. And instead of being a team that is which it seemed right off the bat, he was going to start trying to build his own team, sort of rebuild, but more retool, but with young players. He went, fuck that, I'm going to go and just completely put together a team built off what I have, and it's completely fallen flat. And it's just, the question mark now is, where do they go from here, right? What do they do with this complete train wreck disaster that they have? And really, I mean, obviously, you try to salvage what you can, but what can they salvage, right? What trades can they make to try to turn things around, right? And you try to look at okay, you could trade Gustav Nyquist maybe. He's 34, 35 and on a bad team and very severely underperforming. I don't know what you're going to be able to manage to get from that. Maybe a third round pick. That's not going to really do much to help your franchise. Ryan O'Reilly, kind of the same thing. Underperforming, aging player that doesn't have too many years left and not on a team-friendly contract. So I don't know what takers you have there. Philip Forsberg, I doubt is going to go anywhere, and he would be the best option. But in this current year, is the year to move him out. Not going to be very good to find any good bring-backs for that, right? So you can try to make this team just completely go into rebuild mode and sell off everybody. But what are you going to get from that? So the real question is, where do they go, on which road do they take, right? They're currently on the main road, right? It's called NHL Street, and they've got to get off at one of their streets. They got to turn onto Hopeful Street or Restart Boulevard. Hopeful Street is that you kind of they sit on their hands. They say, this is the team that we've signed together. This is the team we've put together. Maybe next year we go out and try to fix some of these issues of defense. Maybe try to pad in the defense, add physicality or something to the team. Because offense, you're not going to be able to do anything with. They have put together their top six. So you've got to go with defense and hope for the best there. And that's kind of the only thing you can do. Or they go into complete restart mode and they try to sell off everything that they can and go straight into a rebuild, and Barry Trotz can build from the ground up. Which one is most likely to happen? Hopeful Street, where this team is going to stay bad. They will get a good, decent first-round pick this year. But that's it, because they're not going to be able to get any more first-round picks like the Coyotes can. So, because they're not going to be able to sell everything away. So they're going to deal with their one pick. They'll get a fine player. And then next year, they will have the same team be in decline again, and they will have another good first-round pick. But are they going to start selling players then? Well, by then, Nyquist and Ryan O'Reilly, like those top guys, because you're not trading Forsberg anywhere. Maybe Stamkos or Marchessault or Shea, you could try to trade away, but once again, they've completely underperformed after going to a new team. So it's problem after problem of like, this thing could happen, but nothing's going to happen, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing. And this team is going to be just flatline dead for a while. I think this is the time where this team is where the stock exchange just completely erupted, and the economy of the Predators is in complete collapse. Inflation is through the roof, and they cannot do anything about it. It is run away from them. So the Nashville Predators have become Venezuela. That is what has happened, and it's a shame. And I don't really know what they do with that, but I think it's kind of too late. They dug a hole, they went inside of it, and they are stuck there. They can't get out. And maybe over time the soil will erode and the ground will lower above them and they'll be equal eventually, but they are not going up. The ground has to lower to them. Maybe. That's going to take some time. But that is, I guess, all I've got to say, is that this team is screwed and they got nowhere to go. So that is all I got to say. So if you made it this far, please, I'm begging you, please subscribe. It's Christmas, so give me a present. And until next time, too sweet. I hope you have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.